There are a lot of people who want to insist that the only dimension through which Christians and Muslims can interact is the dimension of hostility. And I say no, quite the opposite. I actually, in my work, focus on the peaceful interactions, and the evidence of this is rich and deep. There are a lot of people who have studied the social history of interactions between Muslims and Christians in Spain or in the Middle East. What I study are the scholars, especially those who live on these frontiers where these civilizations overlap. I'm writing a book about one of the most remarkable scholars of this kind, a man named Ramon Martí, a Dominican priest from the 13th century in Spain. And what is so striking to me about Martí is that he knows Arabic really well. He read all kinds of fascinating Islamic texts, should have been more interested in preaching to Muslims because there are far, far more of them and they represent a far bigger geopolitical threat. But he was very little interested in writing against Islam or preaching to Islam, but overwhelmingly fascinated with engaging with Judaism. I'm kind of using him as a way to exemplify a whole set of attitudes about the Latin world in the 13th century. The medieval Mediterranean world is the one really impressive laboratory we have for studying how Jews and Christians and Muslims interacted with each other over a long period of time. They lived in the same cities, they did business with each other, they entered into business partnerships with each other, they went to each other's religious festivals. There were, from time to time, outbreaks of serious violence, but for the most part, those were exceptional. All of that should remind us that human communities have a much greater breadth and capacity than the tensions of our own age might suggest. I want to get students to see all of that. I also really enjoy sitting down with students who are working on mastering reading medieval Latin or medieval Arabic texts, and then exposing students to the really best modern scholarship on these kinds of issues so that they can see and look at the really interesting questions that you can explore. Notre Dame as an institution is the right scholarly home for a lot of reasons. I have a range of colleagues here who have expertise relevant, especially to my own work. The research collections are really spectacular. And then, owing to its Catholic mission, there's a kind of an ethos here connected with that mission that also suits my work very, very well. As director of the Medieval Institute, I and the faculty of the Institute, in a way, want to make Notre Dame the very best place in the world for the study of the Middle Ages. Notre Dame as an institution is particularly invested in a unique way, even for Catholic institutions, in the study of the Middle Ages. So it is a very special place indeed.